Buongiorno e benvenuti. My name is Giovanna and I welcome you to my kitchen on the cliff. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite vegetables, cauliflower. This is so versatile and so delicious, and you can do so much with it. And we're going to use every last drop of this beautiful cauliflower. We're not going to waste anything. We're going to make something that has become kind of fashionable, something called cauliflower steaks. In order to make cauliflower steaks, you need a whole head of cauliflower, and you need to cut it very carefully, and you're going to have a lot of little bits. What are you going to do with those bits? Aha! I thought you would ask. What we're going to do with those bits is we're going to make soup. That way we'll have perfect steaks, so-called, and we'll also have a magnificent soup. Since we want beautiful large pieces, we're going to start about 2/3 of the way. First of all, let's make this flat, because when you're cutting things, you always try to flatten an edge so that you can do it easily. I'm going to cut about 3/4 of an inch, okay? We have cut the cauliflower, we have made our beautiful cauliflower steaks, and we have chopped the rest, and that's going to be our soup. The batter is 1/2 cup of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of water, and a tablespoonful of olive oil. Make it into a smooth paste. We're going to dip the cauliflower into the batter, and then you cover it with breadcrumbs. This is canola oil, which is a light vegetable oil. I'm going to flip these when I begin to smell them. Here's our lovely steaks. For this soup, we will be using olive oil, 1 onion, tomato paste. We're using borlotti beans, but you can use any kind you'd like. Celery, potatoes, salt to taste, of course the cauliflower, and some small pasta. The first thing that we will use is the onion. This is a root end that will remain attached. So we're going to make parallel cuts. Once that is cut, you do the horizontal cuts. So we turn the heat on medium. We add 1/4 cup of oil. That's 1/4 cup. So we're going to add about 1/2 can of tomato paste. That's about 3 ounces. If you want more, you can add more, but 3 ounces is quite enough. It's beginning to color. Now we don't want it to brown, we just want it to begin to color. Now I'm going to lower the heat. I'm going to make a spot in the pot, and I'm going to put the tomato paste there. So I'm going to use 3 ounces. We're going to add 6 cups of cold water. One tablespoonful of salt. We're going to cover this, lower the heat, and let it simmer. While the water is coming to a boil, I'm peeling the potatoes. All right, we're going to cut lengthwise slices. Then we're going to cut them in 2, again lengthwise, and then we cut them into little cubes. I'm chopping 2 stalks of celery directly into the pot. Celery goes very well with beans. It's one of those combinations that seems perfect. So now I'm adding the can of borlotti beans, the beans from Italy. Rinse this can, half fill it with water, and add it to the soup. We're adding the potatoes. I'm raising the heat so it comes to a quick boil. But once it boils, bring the heat back down so that it's still boiling, but not as vigorously. Now we cover it and we let it simmer for 30 minutes. While the soup is simmering away, we're going to make some fried bread to go with our soup. We're going to use 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoonful of yeast, 1 teaspoonful of salt, and we're going to mix the flour, the dry ingredients really. I'm adding a 1/4 cup of olive oil and 3/4 of a cup of water. And that with the 1/4 cup of olive oil makes a cup. Now we're going to add the liquids. I always need it a few turns after I've used the machine. Now shape it into a ball and put a few drops of olive oil and cover it with a bowl to let it rise for 30 minutes to an hour. After simmering the soup for 30 minutes, we add the cauliflower. We're going to let it come back to the boil, and then we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of pasta. I'm adding the pasta. 1, 2, and 3. We lower the heat and we let it simmer for 10 minutes. While the soup is simmering, I'm going to fry the bread. I divided the dough into 4 pieces and formed each into a ball. Now I'm rolling them into circles. I'm placing the circles of dough into my heated canola oil. Again, I flip them when I begin to smell them. The soup is done. This is pasta fagioli con cavolfiore. This is a bean soup with cauliflower. The soup is ready, but before we have it in an Italian home, you always add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil at the table. Now, although we have cooked the soup with olive oil, at the table you always add uncooked, raw, extra virgin olive oil if you're having a soup, a vegetable, or a salad, because this has never been heated, and when you heat olive oil, you reduce the flavor. So if you want the full flavor of wonderful olive oil, drizzle some at the table, uncooked, from the bottom. I hope you enjoyed today's menu. We made cauliflower steaks, we made pasta fagioli, which is everybody's favorite, and we made fried bread to accompany the soup. I hope you enjoyed making all these wonderful dishes. If you make them yourself, let us know. I'd love to see it. If you enjoyed the series, please subscribe and send this video to your friends. Allora, arrivederci, alla prossima volta.